Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning, Ben.
I know we've spoken before, Solomon,
Yeah.
and I know you because you're doing GAP. But today is the What Really Matters podcast, and we'll talk about a few different things. But first of all, how did we first meet? Can you remember?
So my mum walked into the kitchen one Sunday or something, and Judith happened to be, Judith being the other youth worker on GAP, happened to be on the radio talking about GAP and just promoting it. And just out of the blue, she heard it. I was like, that would be good for soul. And she explained it to me, and I was like, yeah, I want it. I'm interested in that. And then from there, I can't remember how we first met.
Well, it moved pretty quickly. I remember I spoke to you on the phone, and you seemed pretty keen. I thought, he seems pretty keen. Then I was like, he asked a couple of questions. You're like, no, I put the application in. I thought, this is a bit too easy. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Do you not want to know a bit more? No. Sounds like
I'm in.
Which I now know your character, and that is a brilliant
Open for
part
anything.
about you, giving things a go. So then when we spoke, and then that was it, really, wasn't it?
From that to this.
Part of the team.
Yeah.
X amount of months later.
I did miss the wave, though, which I'm still sad about.
Maybe we might be able to.
I want to go surfing.
That's
anyway.
not for now.
Yeah.
So the wave was the beginning point of GAP. And, Solomon missed it. Gutted. It was amazing.
I can imagine.
Well, that's what everyone else has said is amazing. To be honest with you, that moment hooked quite a lot of people in, which I now know from chatting to people.
So I don't even need to be hooked by it.
So just in case people I'm having a little closer look, because I now need to wear goggles, and I haven't got my goggles on because I feel like a bit of a plonker because it's very new. So bear with me. What was it like growing up in your community, mate? The challenges in the politics.
It wasn't that bad, but then there was also the racism aspects.
Where did you grow up?
In South Bristol, between Withywood, Whitchurch, and Hengrove, and also a bit of what's the word? Brislington.
Wow.
Yeah. So all over.
Crikey. So so when you were living in those areas, you just said something about racism.
Well, it's primarily white there, so as far as you can see, so you obviously get the look, some people being a bit off, but I've never had anything like upfront racism. It's all just like in the background, so you can't ignore it, but it's just part of life.
So what? There's a feeling that you've had in the community, and there's 4 different. I mean, moving around that much, I'm guessing must have brought certain things, positives, negatives. I don't know.
I was just almost blissfully aware most of the time because I was a young age and didn't really understand racism.
Unaware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just getting through life like, life is good. But then in the background, it also plays a part because you notice things and try to ignore it, but then in the back of your mind, it's still going and playing on your mind.
I mean, so you say you're blissfully unaware. So at what point, because you're fully aware now based on what you just said, at what point did you become aware, and what were the kind of things that made you aware, I guess?
I don't know what age I became aware. I've just been aware for a while now, but not like a long time. And it's just like seeing someone walk across the street when you're walking up the street, and I'm just like listening to music, bopping my head. I'm like, I'm not scary. That's just funny to me. It makes me laugh, but it's sad, but it's funny because I'm one of the nicest people I know, and someone to be scared of me just because I look brown.
You're one of the nicest people I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Full stop.
Yeah, it's like I've never punched anyone in my life near enough, and it's like I wouldn't do it, and I'm not going to rob you or anything. It's just funny to me.
Well, I mean, so if that was out in the community, and I guess there's a feeling of, based on what you said, there's a feeling of not necessarily being part of that. No. Which is, it's not nice for anyone. But what was it like at school? Did you have a similar kind of situation, or was it different? What school you went to?
I went to St. Mary Redcliffe, and at that age, I didn't really understand my race. So I was just because I've been surrounded by white people, I was just I'm one of these humans. I never saw myself as this race, that race, or white people being different than me. Yeah. But obviously, they viewed me as different in a way. And I feel like in Redcliffe, some of the teachers were slightly racist. Even though there were a lot of black kids in the school, it kind of singled out the non-whites in the class a bit. So then I left that school because teachers were a bit shit, and then students were just also shit. I went to a racist place.
When you say like students, which it was that. Explain that.
They were just kind of excluding me from groups. Like my main friendship groups kind of just didn't bother with me. So I just walk around like just on my ones sometimes, and it's just like, I'm not enjoying this. Let's get out.
Yeah, mate. It sounds like, I mean, I'm no bloody doctor, psychologist or anything else, but I mean, I got my finger on the pulse a little bit. Mm-hmm. It feels like maybe you were feeling isolated.
Yeah.
Like, and if that's happening in the community and that's happening at school, that's not a nice feeling, is it?
Nah, it's not the best, but
you know, I suppose that's just kind of how that kind of felt. I mean, so you had that going on in school. Mm-hmm. What was the vibe at home with the family?
I loved my family life, but then there's also a lot of shit that happened because 2012, my dad got cancer for the first time. And then my grandma was...
How old were you then?
I was...
Like roughly?
9?
9, okay.
But like at that age, it was just like, oh, Dad's ill, he'll get better. Never really thought he could die, but that's just part of life. And then around the same year, like maybe a year after, because most weekends, me, my sister, and all my cousins went to my grandma's. We also lost her around the same time, which was sad because then that was like key part of my childhood. And then my mum got ill in like, would have been 8 years ago now, 7. She had like, basically, it was a weird health complications, but then she recovered from that. And then when I moved on to, let's just skip into 2019 when I lost my father, sadly. Well, also watched my friend drown and then my father die, but they're like 2 and 2. And then,
that happened really close together.
within like 24 hours, because my friend drowned sadly in Bristol Harbour. And then the night after...
Was that like a freak thing? Or
we were coming back from Balloon Festival, and we had this little inflatable ball, and then it was like the harbour side here, and the ball was just there, and you kicking your leg, trying to get it, floats away a bit. My friend Brooklyn, he seemed sober at the time, got in, was quick in it for it. It was like just there, so we were like, oh yeah, get it. But then we were like, nah, come back. But like every time you splash for it, it gets further away, and then by the time we tell him to come back, he's too far away and then goes under. Then the whole city centre was just lit up by emergency services. Right. Then we go back to his sister's house just the night after, just be like, what the fuck did we just witness? And I get the call from my mum saying my father had passed in hospital because he was given like a week to live because he had lymphoma and kidney failure. And then it was just the end of him. So, and it was just unlucky that it happened that time because I would have liked to be there, but in a way I don't really blame myself for not being there because I just watched someone drown.
You've got memories, mate.
Yeah,
no one can take
there's
away.
no point in being there at the last minute. I've got many memories of like most of my childhood spending with him.
Yeah, no.
Like,
well, we've spoken lots, haven't we? And it sounds in a lot of ways like you had a beautiful childhood.
Yeah, he was my best friend throughout my childhood.
Oh, that's
like
amazing.
Spent like every weekend with him, just driving around, going beaches and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a crucial part of me.
I don't want to get label on this too much because I don't, like, obviously you've been through some flipping struggles, like that's plain for everyone to see. But how do you feel like how that has impacted you moving forward? Is there like a fairly straightforward way that you can describe that, and if you don't want to, don't. Because so the impact of your dad passing away and your friend passing away, all fairly close. How do you think that impacted on you?
It's given me a better sense of reality and put everything in perspective because life is finite. We all have a limited amount of time. People live life blissfully unaware of what will happen eventually. They become happy with the things around them. They just become normal with it. So like, oh, I have this friendship, that's just gonna last forever. No, it's not. Everything has an expiration date. So you just have to like value the things in your life that much more because you don't know when they're gonna leave your life. And like the bad times will come, but also like, yes, the shit times can be absolute shit. But because those shit times are so shit, the good times are that much better. And you can just like appreciate and value the good times that much more and just love
I
life,
love this.
love the good types of life. And then,
Such wisdom. I now remember, I just had, when you were talking then, I just suddenly had a flashback in my head that somehow we got onto politics last time because of the wisdom that you were coming out with. And I wow. I mean, that's interesting you say that, right? Because I'm, with Gap, I always give it the big spud, something, something to find your passion, blah, 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 passion. And I've had people, friends of mine, that have challenged that and said, not everyone can find their passion. Not everyone can do what they want to do. Like, that's not real.
That is,
but why can they not want that, and why can they not strive for that? But I mean, this is where the balance is, and what you're saying is absolutely the balance.
Yeah,
it's like, yes, there are things that are going to happen in life that you might be able to control, or you might not be able to control.
Things are inevitable and out of your control.
But that does give it the balance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't stop you trying to strive for things that will make you feel better about yourself. But you just got to be aware that no matter what you do, there's always going to be things that come about that, are going to have a negative impact on you. But then, like you said, then you appreciate these other things a bit better.
Because when you're feeling that good in life and you can remember and always will remember how shit it can be, just makes those times much nicer and just more valuable, almost like priceless in a way.
Beautiful. Very true. And like, if people learn that, and unfortunately, I watched something recently as well that was saying about the people that have been through real negative trauma when they were younger. Don't get me wrong, this isn't for everyone. So a lot of people might just never really recover from those different things. Yeah. But a lot of people then really do appreciate the smaller things in life based on that. And I'm in a similar situation as you, and it's amazing. I don't think I had the wisdom that you do right now at your age, and I just think it's amazing.
Thank you.
So, what kind of things did you get up to in your community? Like with friends and clubs and what have you when you were growing up?
I never really hung out in my local community. From year 10, taking it back to primary school, I was in my local community. After school, we used to go to this park, either set fires in the forest, or we used to walk down this little stream, which is kind of nasty looking back at it, but it was fun childhood stuff, just being amongst nature. In Hengrove.
Okay, yeah.
So, not the cleanest rivers, but I'm still alive and kicking, so I must have upped my immunity or something. And that was just nice, just being a child amongst nature before technology fully took over. I still had that aspect of just going out after school, running around in nature with your friends. And then more recently, living in Withywood, I have Dundry behind my house, which is like this 200-meter high hill with a little vision crop.
Jammy. I tell you what, I was only looking this morning when I picked them up. I was like, need to move here.
So sometimes I just say to my mom, I'm going on a walk. I leave my house and walk for like 45 minutes. And then I've walked like 10 kilometers and I can see the suspension bridge. And behind that, the 2 bridges to Wales and then Welsh Mountains in the background. And also to the left, I could see Bristol Airport. You can watch planes land there. And then also see Trumagna. And then also see like the reservoirs for Bristol. And just up there is a beautiful perspective of life and just seeing everything just from a bird's eye view almost. And it just like, you can just really appreciate the whole hustle and bustle of life.
You used to be like the ambassador for Withywood. King Solomon, ambassador of Withywood. Right, something that keeps coming up, and it's not just it's with conversations we have, off camera and, whilst we've been doing the program and all the rest of it. There's something you are drawn to nature.
Yeah, very much.
I mean, it literally is like the word that I hear the most. It comes up, no, but it's amazing. So, what do you think drew you to nature? What is it that it does for you? What is it?
Just the shitness of society and the world as a whole. Because of like lost people, and then humans have also been shit, and then just like society is just a bit on a downfall. And if you get away from that and just immerse yourself within nature and what really is life, rather than what humans paint this picture of, like, this is humans and this is what we do. That's a small segment. If you like look outside that box, there's a whole plethora of beautifulness just around you. Just trees, birds, animals. The other night I witnessed this field behind my house. I had my torch.
You won't go to the toilet, will you?
No.
Sometimes he goes out there for...
No.
Sorry, I told you I had to get it in there.
You have to edit that out because I hit the mic. But went into this field and then I joined my torch and I saw these two beady eyes staring back at me. I was like, what the hell's that? And went in a bit. I was just a fox, just sat there. And then I was going to get a video, but I was like, nah, I'm just going to appreciate the moment. And I walked off into the woods.
Yeah,
that was just a nice little moment.
I think you're one step ahead of many people. Yeah, there's many things that are going on with nature and climate, and like everyone have a different view on what that is. But there's no doubt about it. Like once you're out and immerse yourself and you feel the impact, you know I crap on about this all the time, but then it's only based on personal experience and then witnessing the impact on other people, like young people or older people, adults that I work with over the years.
Everyone
100% nourishes, whether you believe in a soul or whatever, physically, mentally, everything. Human. It grounds you, doesn't it? Yeah,
because bottom line is we shouldn't be surrounded by concrete on a day-to-day basis. Or staring at your phone or computer or whatever. We were born in nature. If you take us back like X amount of years before civilization really pumped up, yes, like you would have lived less, but that's just part of life.
I'm sure you were saying that the other day when we had roadkill deer.
I like the deer.
Barbecue.
I like the deer.
It didn't look so perky then.
It's the hedgehog. The hedgehog that was like a bit too exploded out.
Roadkill.
I'd happily eat a deer again. That was tasty.
In fairness to you, and everyone else.
Roadkill deer. That's like it gets hit by a car. There's still a good amount of meat that's not been like hit. With a little like hedgehog, it's like the wheel's gone through it, and it's just a bit like I'm pass on that one.
Let's move on.
Anyway, let's move on. Yes,
I could go on to this more, but I think it's a bit of a prickly subject.
Wouldn't.
Sorry. So at this point, are we gonna? So we've had a chat about this before. We start talking about the gap stuff later on, won't we? Yeah. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. Yes, okay, so do you feel like you have your voice heard, right? And when I say that, that could be at home, that could be at college, that could be at Gap, it could be out in the community, it could be at work in the city, wherever, however you take that.
Yeah, mostly.
Can you explain that a little bit when you say mostly? Where is that and in what kind of sense?
I don't know, at Gap, people listen to me and then... Pardon me. And at home, people listen to me, and then at work, people also listen to me. So it's like overall, yes, but then there's also like obviously for everyone, there's times that people don't listen to you. But
do you feel like because I mean I think this must have been how the politics business come out. The reason I say that is because what I was just about to say to you is, do you feel like I've just said to you that I feel like you've been through a lot, and how you hold yourself. Just generally with others, as well as when you're talking like one-on-one, it's generally very positive, but as well, it's very real about the realities of things that can happen.
Realism is like my main goal
in life, but it's done in a positive way. And I wonder whether you've ever really thought about, because the places you just mentioned then, Gap, which is a group, a bit like college, but not,
better.
Better than college. I don't say it. True.
A lot better.
Not every college, but I don't know, whatever. And at home, obviously, that's your family network that you got the relationship with, you got that connection with. And then work, which is another kind of bit of a closed kind of thing, isn't it? Do you ever feel like you'd like to have your voice heard further like than that?
I've always thought about getting into politics or something, but it just seems like a big headache.
I don't know if I can argue that.
Exactly. It's like, I'd love to if it wasn't so intense.
Well, I mean, look, last time when you mentioned this, I sent something to Asha Craig, the deputy mayor, and she said about contacting people that are on a certain, I think it was with the One City office, one of the certain boards. So the Children and Young People Board is what she heads up, and then talking to local councillors, because I think there's like a youth kind of pipeline people to get into politics. And funnily enough, one of the local councillors for your neck of the woods works for Grassroots Communities, Kerry Bells. who's a legend.
Perfect.
And she loved it. And she was a young person who went through this, that, and the other, and wants to make a difference. So I'm with you. I wouldn't know what to say in the sense of, is it a massive headache? Is it worthwhile? I don't know. All I do know is that there's some people that on the ground floor, grassroots, whatever you want to call it, in the communities, that really understand the reality of life, that do it for the right reasons, that make a difference. I'm sure there's many people higher up that they all, started for that reason as well. Although it does look a bit more kind of professionalized, that people go into it at that level as a profession.
Yeah, rather than like actually knowing the nitty gritty and going into it.
But then, in days gone by, there has been people that have come up through the ranks.
Definitely.
Like him or not, Marvin has definitely done that. Whatever the politics is, whatever you believe in, but he's definitely come from that point. So it is possible. And I don't know. I'm happy to reconnect you again.
Yeah, I'm happy to give it a shot, see how it goes.
It's conversation. You don't do anything you don't want to do.
Just have a talk to her and see what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I shall reconnect you. There we go.
Thank you.
No. I mean, look, whatever goes on, goes on.
Yeah.
I just definitely think you've got something to offer, and it'd be worth looking into. So, straight on to what really matters to you and why.
Okay.
What really matters to you and why? The big question.
Big question. All in all. As I said before, really nature at the end of it, and then my cat, and then family aspects.
Okay.
And then just personal well-being and just being okay in life, reconnecting with nature and just trying to heal your inner child. Yeah.
Interesting you said about healing your inner child. I mean, we didn't speak about like the other difficulties at school, and I only say this because it's worth saying, dyslexia. No,
I'm pretty sure I haven't been tested for anything, but I'm pretty sure I'm dyslexic.
No, not dyslexic. Sorry, not dyslexia. ADHD.
ADHD, but I also think
I mean, they're very closely linked.
Words just bounce about a bit, but.
And that's the thing, that these words are bounced about quite a lot, and without
actually
being
tested, there's no point in labeling yourself. Because self-labeling can make you subconsciously start to act more like those certain aspects. I
mean, through my experience of working with young people, I would say that there's a spectrum for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm no bloody doctor, so you would need to do a test. But I would say that there's probably some level of ADHD.
Yeah.
Just because of the mannerisms, the energy, and just the general way that you hold yourself within conversations. I can see it because I have some similar problems myself.
Do you?
As we know, trying to have a bloody discussion and Gap is like, oh my God, it's like piranhas going around like, eat my go, my go. No one has got the headspace to think about what people are saying. They're straight in. But anyway, that doesn't have to be ADHD. No. That can be just who you are. Okay. I mean, so is there a way that you think that don't know, you could support with, and this doesn't have to be your kind of vibe at all, but support with the healing and the nature stuff? Because you talk about nature a lot. You've been through loads of things in your own childhood. And it's interesting with the, which we'll go on to in a minute, Gap questions. With Gap, your passion come out from that.
Yeah.
You wanted to get into cooking. You wanted to be a chef. I always get the feeling when I talk to you, there's some other things going on there. And
I don't know what I want to do.
You said nature and healing people.
Ultimately,
tell me,
I just want to go out into the woods and live alone with a cat and a dog, or 2 cats and a dog. Just get away from society for a year.
Well, I reckon, right? When we go off and we do this residential,
you might just have to leave me there.
No, but maybe just kind of at that point, see how that feels, and talk to Scott as well, that lives a bit more of an off-grid lifestyle, and there is other ways of doing things. Like I built roundhouses in other parts, like a few other places, Wales and this, that, and the other, and there's definitely communities of people that don't sign up to this and consumerism and the kind of things that you're talking about, which are like the some of the ills in this world.
Yeah, the negatives.
I'm not suddenly trying to say that suddenly become a wood monkey and move out to flipping Pembrokeshire and live.
I wouldn't mind it. Just move to maybe Scotland. Just live amongst the mountains.
Well,
in summertime, not wintertime.
let me say this. I know that you've got the what's-its to just rock up to places and visit places, right? So let's see how you get on with the residential. And then if you want to kind of go and visit some communities that do live like that, then I can connect you with people just to go and like spend a night somewhere.
That'd be really interesting.
Just to see.
Yeah.
I think you'd enjoy it. As an experience.
I might hate it, but like, what shit on the floor? No.
I don't think that. It's not like that.
No.
So, if there was an ask that you could ask the world, the 1 or 100 or 1 million, unlikely, people that are going to watch it, you never know. What would that ask be?
What would the ask be? Oh, that's a big question. I'm not too sure.
This is the first time I've seen him silent, people.
Big question is, what do I do in life?
So that's your ask. You're asking asking the world, what do you do in life?
Because people have like how you see what like aspects of me that would be good for this and this. I'm kind of just sat here unaware of what I can do with my plethora of knowledge. So I was like, don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, I'd say to you, you don't need to know what you do.
No, obviously not.
Like, how old are you?
20.
20. You've got lots of time to try different things. And the kind of the beauty of that is that I kind of feel like this is, I'm not trying to make some kind of cack segue, but it's quite a good one. Because the thing is, you were very quick to say yes to Gap, right?
Yeah.
No messing, bang. You've been very quick to give other things a try. It stands out.
I'm always down
like
for anything
against some other people as well. Like you are always, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
That is a superpower.
Yeah.
And you will end up trying so many different things and get different experiences that you're slowly, all you're doing now, you're on this like journey that starts here and it's slowly funneling. You'll get to what those things are.
Yeah.
And it don't have to be one thing.
No.
It can be a few different things.
Little collection of different things doing. Not yesterday, but the day before, I bumped into one of my old friends from McDonald's when I worked there just after losing my dad and my friend. And then they were just chatting, and then they were like, "Oh, you've changed so much," and like, just to put it into perspective of how like emotionally damaged I was back then, and like how depressed and not liking the world, and just like, just not loving life at all. And to be now just like enjoying life and have a better perspective of things, it's like makes me realize how far I've come in that short period of time. And now,
I mean, just I'm not saying this and expecting anything. You say what you want. But what role do you think Gap has played in that? And if it hasn't played any role, like
a big role, definitely. Okay. I was like, if you go back to last summertime, I was lost without any like meaning in life because I was out of McDonald's because that was absolutely like hellscape after being depressed as well. I was kind of lost, not having any meaning to life and like just kind of existing, not knowing what to do. And then got Gap, and then from Gap I got my job, and those two things just brought so much like stability and a routine to my life. And then it's just helped me like mold how I am as a person and just brought it all together.
I know the other thing I've seen as well that is, and maybe that links with stuff that you said before, but like I could say, maybe connecting with some of those other boys that are in the group as well. To start with, I think probably it's taken a while, and I've seen something shift more recently, and I don't know what it is, but you are 100% like you are part of the whole group. Yeah. And I definitely think that people will have relationships way beyond Gap. And I don't know what like impact that may have on you or not. I don't even know if you ever thought about that. But that's just from me looking from the outside in.
Yeah.
That visibly looks like it's happening by the way that you're all connecting and communicating with each other.
I normally do just become part of groups after a while because I'm just like, I just know how to talk to people and just become like part of groups.
Yeah.
It just happens naturally with me.
Well, it's near enough a year.
Yeah.
That just happened.
That is true. It's been a while.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's beautiful to watch because you can see that people really care about each other, like really care about each other.
Yeah.
And in some ways, that's more than, that's more meaningful than anything else.
Yeah.
But the other things you said are meaningful as well. So what have you liked so far about GAP?
Nothing.
No, but that's fair play.
No,
that is it.
I've loved the
cool.
current module the most, I feel. And the module before
So
Christmas.
what's the current module?
The current module is the outdoors and the well-being module, where we're learning about like outdoorsy stuff, cooking on campfires, camping. We had like twisty breads, which were really nice, and then cooked a fish. And I gutted the fish, which was actually enjoyable.
You did a good job, by the way. Well
Thank
done.
you.
So the outdoor stuff, well-being stuff. What kind of things like within the well-being then?
Just, I don't know. For me, it's more connecting with nature. It's like a knock-on effect with well-being and just mindfulness in yourself. Doing and different activities. Like we did some breakdancing this week, and just different things that can bring you happiness. And the module before Christmas was the social enterprise, the social action project, where we did a 3-day in Dean Skate Park, all based around creativity, bringing a community together through creativity. And it was like -2 degrees that day, and we had a turnout of 60 people, which is like
it was pretty
insane
amazing.
For like below freezing to get 60 people out. Like we got a.
So what was happening on that day? So it was like the Creative Waves event?
So we had a kitchen giving out teas, coffees, and soup for free. Managed to get a bunch of groceries, like fruit and veg produce from a local grocers for free. And then we also got some pizzas for free from a local baker. And then we also got a bunch of spray cans for free from all half-used ones. We got cute and fashion stuff. We spray painted a bunch of cling film that we tied to a ball, so it was like we could take it down. And then there was also a weed bin sound system.
Yeah. Barney and the team, grassroots baby. Whoop whoop.
And then we also got this lino flooring.
Oh, you got that free as well.
Yeah, it was like
Bristol flooring.
It was 60 quid, but then they just gave it to us for free. We were gonna do a bunch of breakdancing on it, but we put it down, and it was so cold that it was a thin layer of ice that formed on it. So it was basically like a mini ice rink. So we had to roll it back up because health and safety.
Dangerous.
You step on it and you can just slide from one end to the other. When it's meant to just be like lino, and then because it was that cold, but still 60 people.
I'm glad you're lit up by the experience because I mean I think I said to you at the time, that you nailed that in I can't even remember what it worked out.
6 weeks, 5 weeks.
Well, 6 weeks, but the actual amount of sessions, like 8 sessions,
8 days,
10 days, something like that.
And
which is it's unheard of.
Yeah,
really, like it is unheard of.
And there's a whole day session, so it was like.
There's people that get paid quite a lot of money, like in various community settings, that would struggle doing that, And I just what I'd hoped that it might bring to be, and everyone's done different things, so it's all a different experience for everyone. But you could see that people generally are good.
Yeah.
And if you put the time in and the effort in, and people can see that, people want to help, people want to get involved. And I think the main difference is with yours compared to some of the others is not like the output of what you delivered, because what they delivered was great. You've done more of the promotion stuff. Yeah. And as you know, or as you now know, you can put a hell of a lot of effort into putting that together an event and doing stuff. But if people aren't there,
it's not worth it.
Then it's not going to have the benefit that you hope. And yours absolutely shone.
Yeah.
And I mean, on that note, like as well, now that so funny enough, Jackie, who's a trustee for grassroots communities, and she's a youth worker with bloody millions of years of experience in South Bristol, blah blah blah. She's going to be doing the next podcast, but she put in an application as well, so you guys hopefully will get funding on your own. Yeah, you, Catherine, Martin,
dream team
to deliver some more summer sessions.
Yeah,
that are similar kind of vibe, but you need to speak to local people again.
Yeah, I think you see.
And let's just see where this goes. Because the thing is, I can see your face already lighting up. He's trying not to get the grin going.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. when you find your passion,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like that's the stuff that gets you up in the morning. So
Yeah.
let's just see where that goes. Anyway, anything that could be improved, it would be helpful.
Anything that could be improved.
Say what you need to say.
Last term with the social enterprise module, I feel like that was an ambitious goal for us because like the term before we were learning about it, but like the learning side wasn't like, we learned stuff, but it was more like learning on paper rather than learning in practical. Because like we got the knowledge, but then taking that knowledge and actually put it into working and doing human stuff is to the lines between on that straightforward.
How do you think? So, I mean, I went with your group, so I can't really talk too much about what happened. So I don't know, if I'm honest. How do you think it could have been improved to kind of make that work better? Because I
don't know. I feel like our goal was like what we wanted to do with it was good, but it was a bit too ambitious. Like it took what we wanted.
Was there any challenge for how like realistic it was?
Time frame.
Did you get? So that was one of the things that, I mean, with the group that I was with, that was one of the things we've done. It's just like, right, what's realistic? You got up until then. You do something till then.
Yeah.
And once you had their idea, then it's like, okay, so that's it. So that's the end goal. Is that realistic? Did you do that?
We didn't. We had an idea, and it was a really good idea. So we went.
And it is a good idea.
It was a really good idea, and it still is. But it was just. It's a lot more brain activity than I would have thought. Like it took a lot more preparation, and then just a lot more everything, because it was such a touchy subject, and it was just like the other group did a really good evening where it was like sharing their past stories to help people.
4 evenings.
4 evenings.
Blimey, it was a whole flipping week, I tell you. My partner was like, you what? It's your bedtime. Sorry, can't do it tonight. Not happy.
But yeah, like that was a really good idea with more realistic ambitions of the time frame. So I feel like we should have just like toned it down a little bit because we wanted to like do the best of the best. But then within the time frame, it wasn't that possible.
Well, look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And as you know, and you've said to me before, you know, we learn a lot by our mistakes. And to be honest, we learn more by them. Anyway.
Yeah, you learn more making mistakes than you do doing everything right. Because if you're doing everything right, you become like relaxed and like, oh, I know everything. And you're getting this wrong, that wrong, that wrong. You need to improve there, and there. And then when you improve, you see another smaller problem that you improve on, and it carries on.
But that perspective, though, that you just said then, if you get funded to do the summer sessions in Bedminster this summer, you're gonna think about that straight away.
Definitely.
You're not suddenly going to be like, yeah, we're going to have a flipping festival. It's going to be like Glastonbury.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? You're literally be like, okay, we've got X amount of weeks to do this. Okay, what is possible? You know, so it's worth it. It's all part of the process. It's all part of the journey. So thanks for sharing.
That's all right.
But you've been quite lucky, I think. I mean, I think everyone's been quite lucky because, like, getting the Gap mentors together was quite a painful task in some ways.
Can I imagine?
Because we were really, really trying to, I was trying to align people that I think would, one, have a good relationship with the young person they were supporting, and as well, align with the stuff that they do professionally. Do you want to say a little bit about your mentors and about how they
I
helped?
have Dave Cousins, which is a youth mentor. He works in the hub in Redcliffe. He's been useful just like getting real words, but like recapping on everything and just having a little sit down and just like reflect on everything that's happened and just making me feel good because it's like, damn, I've done some good stuff.
You have done.
Yeah.
He was at the event as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was doing
he was there, but then the lights went off, so it was like, oh, I'm going to leave, which is understandable. But by the power of fucking God or something, flipping, the lights turned back on.
Yeah.
Were you there?
I was there, mate.
Yeah.
Of course I was there.
Yeah, okay. It's a bit of a blur since then. But yeah, like the lights went off and I was like, oh, is the whole thing over now? But then they turned back on.
So you had Dave, the youth
mentor. I've got Steve. Wait, no.
Yeah.
I thought I said Steve Cousins as well. No, Dave as well. He is my
So Steve.
Yeah.
You said Dave. So Steve now.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up.
That's okay. So Steve Bluff.
Steve
Redcliffe
Bluff.
and Temple.
Yeah.
Bid team.
Yep, he works in Runaway now. He's got new offices. It's nice.
Oh, no, okay.
And we've just been recapping on everything, and he's helped me find my job with the Novotel, which has been really good so far.
So, do you want to say a little bit? So, basically, you had your placement because you wanted to get into cooking and wanted to think about being a chef. And there was more to it, wasn't it? That you were thinking about how you could do something that could provide you a skill to travel eventually. And then Nova hotels are all over the world.
Yeah. That's
So you've done that, and then now at the end of it, and this is you, by the way, Steve Fairplay is supported.
He served me a plate, and I tucked in, and
but what you've done at that placement has meant that they've offered you a job, which is off the chart. It's like halfway through the program, and already bang, you're in there like swimwear.
Like,
do you know what I mean?
Thanks, man. I'm going now. I've got a job.
Yeah, well, I mean that's it. You could have done because some others will be in that situation where they're going to start something, a job which is what they were hoping for, and they won't be able to carry on with that. And do you know what I mean? But you've weaved it all together nicely. So yeah, I mean, and your mentor has played quite a big role in that.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
Cool. Okay. My eyesight again. Sorry. So how has Gap made you feel about your future?
A lot more positive about it. Just put things more into perspective and what I can do. Because as I said, I was just kind of unaware of what I wanted to do in life. I was just kind of existing, going through it, trying to get through it. And now I have more like set goals, and it's opened my mind to other things and different aspects of life. And I have a whole job from it, which making me a chef. Even if I don't want to become a chef in the long term, still a good skill because everyone needs to know how to cook.
Oh, mate, you need to eat 3 times a day.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
with cost of living crisis, going out is a lot more expensive.
Yeah,
buying produce is expensive, but going out is just really expensive.
I'm looking forward to seeing, hopefully from from whatever distance or not, like the journey that you take, because I feel I can see that there's going to be some twists and turns, but it's going to be. I'm very hopeful for you.
Thank you. So am I.
And it has been a pleasure to support you.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you supporting me.
No problem. Go steady before I start crying.